we would more call it trampoline, maybe. So you have the tension in the trampoline when you come to the conflict, you have this tension, you feel it in your legs. And because you keep your body posture stiff or straight, you get these rebounds, and then you're off. Then you have released from what you call the problem. So that is a way we can describe it. We have learned since, instead of if we would say how you would solve problems or conflicts in the past, was more like diving towards the trampoline and grasping it. So it would like shaken like this. And you didn't get the bounce effect. You got maybe a concussion.
Yes, thank you, Enbär, for joining us. We've tried before, and we've had some interference in our sessions. Last recording, it was not, it wasn't saved properly, I think. And so we're trying once more, and we're so I will let you introduce yourself just a tiny bit here, and then I'll well, yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can
yours.
just thank you, Mattias. I can just say how we met because you were my client, and I can say, and I do soul readings. So Mattias came for a soul reading, but it was very different. He was interested in the macro things, and he was immediately when we connected to this council that we're going to connect with today, he started to asking a lot of macro questions, and that was very interesting and nice because I've been in contact with them for 5 years, but somehow it was my partner who interviewed them, and she asked a lot of personal questions. So I didn't know much about them, very little. I knew the name of their planet, and I knew how their existence looked like there. And I can say their name of the planet is Boazim, as I interpreted it. In sounds, they speak through telepathy, so it's my interpretation of the name. And I see their planets is just well, it looks like this actually. A little bit like a white crystal or a crystal planet, or like, but they say they are in a kind of white liquid state. So they are a liquid light are their bodies, and they are like a group soul. They can also go in and out of that state, and their planet is like 4 planets away from here. But I am Enbär Svärd, and I've been channeling them for 5 years, but I've been an intuitive for all my life, and I've had a journey with that, trying to avoid it, trying to shut it off. But then if I shut it off, then I kind of accidentally push other people's buttons because I read them without knowing, and I say the most sensitive thing that I put the finger in the wound unintentionally.
Yes.
So it put me in a lot of trouble. So my advice to you, all who are intuitives, that you start using it, even just to friends.
Perfect. And how can you discern whether or not you're an intuition?
Well, I think all, at least humans, are intuitive, and maybe even more so plants are intuitive, and with animals we call it instinct, but it's a form of it's intuition blended with the genes. You can say it's in the instinct. It's it's in the genes, and it's also a kind of genetic intuition, it seems. But if you're highly intuitive, um, well, for me personally, I thought that everyone would get to that state, that everyone would eventually remember their past lives, or they will eventually, if you meditated, you would start to connect with other spirits. I thought I was doing Vipassana meditation, and I thought that was kind of, because they were talking about invisible beings. But when I started to share, like Wenka, the teacher, shared about that there were invisible beings. But when I started to meet them and I shared about that to the teachers, I was blocked from doing more courses. So it was kind of taboo. So,
Mhm.
but
By the teachers.
by the teachers, I
Oh.
wasn't accepted anymore. They are
Mhm.
very scared of kind of new age things, and
Oh, I see.
yeah. But
So
I
it's
know
like
they.
even in these branches, there is like a kind of a dogma and like a like
Yeah, but if we're speaking about Vipassana,
mm,
the dogma comes from that they're trying to preserve the meditation technique, and
mm,
I
mm,
fully respect that. They have preserved it for
yeah,
2,700 years. So
mm,
kudos to that. So
sure,
better to be more cautious. There
sure,
is their guideline. So,
yeah.
but
Uh,
anyway, I don't know. How do you know that you're an intuitive, a highly intuitive? I mean, for me, it was more that when I noticed that I had problems if I'm not open with it. I had heard that fairies doesn't like to be spoken of, or when people are bragging, so I didn't tell people about that. But then I started doing it, and I explored this line. Okay,
mm,
now there came some ego,
mm,
uh, but. I think especially according to oral tradition, it's
mm.
water spirits that are most sensitive to that when you talk about them.
And a follow up here, and in not telling, is that also a way of protecting, protecting
Yeah,
yourself?
but of course you need
Mm,
to protect yourself also, and there of course is this fear, generational fear of sharing spirituality. It has been, very brutally
mm,
pushed down in the past. So it has had real consequences for people. So of course there's a fear in
mm,
all
mm,
highly intuitive people to share about it.
yeah,
But now I really recommend people to do it because it's like pouring in from everywhere.
mm,
These connections and this light, supporting light, and it seems to be so many spirits here supporting us.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little
Right.
bit, I'm excited. I feel a bit speeded, but I'm really excited about doing this and finally get to talk about these things. I'm really grateful that you want to do this with me.
All right.
And little background, I don't know if you need more background about the council, but maybe a little recap of what we've been
Mm,
recording
mm,
and
mm,
what we've been talking about. These really interesting conversations. We've had 2 hours that we
yeah.
thought we recorded that was kind of
Mm.
lost. So what do we say about that? All those talks. It's been so interesting talks, and
Right. Um, I guess we'll have to top it then with another one.
yeah, let's just do it.
And maybe because we have recorded some of the previous material, maybe we can have it
Mm.
in like a textual form or something like that. It could
We
be in
can do
a
that.
yeah, probably.
Let's let's just jump in and see where they take us this time.
All right. So are you up for channeling the council?
Yes. Thank you so much for your trust. We are so happy to talk with you. And yeah, everything is fine. There is a reason for all this practice that you've had. And it's been really beautiful talks that we've had. Let's just take a deep breath before we start. So now we can begin.
Thank you. And will you shortly introduce yourselves? Who are the council?
So we have been here a long time with you on the planet for hundreds of years. But it's just lately when we have had, as we said in another talk with you, we've had shamans and energetically connected people who have channeled our energy through ceremonies in the great past, um, where our energy has been felt, and it could have been through dances, through singing, in that way, but it's just the latest decade or so, we have been channeled through humans in a more detailed form with words and writing, I should add. So we are connected to you in an energetic timeline, in a meridian, if you want to compare it to your own electromagnetic bodily system. So we are 4 planets away, and we operate in the 9th dimension. We have gone through a lot of transitions on our planet. We still have challenges. Um, so, and we are one galactic body um, in this galaxy, that these meridians connect a lot of worlds in our galaxy. And of course, the galaxies are also connected to each other, but we are really much more dependent on each other than what you think. You have been so focused on your own species, and you're waking up to the connection to the being of your planet right now. And the next step is to also be connected, or feel that you're connected to us and to other worlds.
Mm.
So it's a process, and it's a little bit like a ripple effect. When you are rising in consciousness, it goes very fast.
Yeah. And you mentioned before that you're also learning from this process. So can you elucidate a bit on the topic of learning within the 9th dimension?
Mm, sure, sure. There's no hierarchy in the universe. We are not gods, and dimensions are not realms. So to share your knowledge, to give and receive help is paramount. It's the way everything flows. So if we don't give our experiences so far, we are not learning. So we are, and also there is no real hierarchy between dimensions. Yes, there are different levels of consciousness, but that doesn't mean that you are not contributing with your experiences to the universe, to the collected knowledge and experiences of this galaxy. So even if we have been through something similar that you went through, it's still very unique. Your process and the conditions on your planets are very different from the conditions as they were on our planet when we went through the same or similar transition. Um, you have so many contrasts on your planet, so many frequencies that you can tune into. It is like a gateway or a doorway to many universes or many timelines because of that you can tune into all these different frequencies from super dense to highly fluid, highly vibrant frequencies. And it's very hard to unify all, to mold all those experiences together. But the experiences that you have that are having a so big different contrast and making so much friction right now when there is so much light coming into your planet and pulling up all these heavier things that have been pressed down on your planet. That is, yeah, it's amalgamizing process, you can say. So it's a really truly an alchemical process that you're in the middle of right now. And it's very fascinating for us to connect with that, to feel your bravery to meet all these things. Because we said before in another talk that everything is flowing and evolving through separation and unification. So you are in an extreme or have been in an extreme separation that has been or you've collected a lot of new experiences from that. We have just come from an extreme unification and are actually moving your way. So it's very fruitful for us to help you on the other side of the pendulum. Do you follow us?
Yes. Would it be accurate to say that you're designing like the new experiments of separation?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
So you're already reached the level of unification within the ninth dimension. Now you're about to embark upon a path of separation. And are you now planning for this path?
That question needs to be a little bit rephrased because it is your question. It comes from. It's very interesting. Your question comes from a separational standpoint. So, uh, first of all, in our dimension, there is no planning. Uh, we are we are the plan. That's how we can express it. That uh, we have reached a level where where everything is in acceptance and in a presence where you don't need to plan for the future. We don't have that concept of future on our planet, or past, in that sense that you experience future and past from this separated point of view. So that's why it's a little bit hard to answer your question in that way. But yes, we are learning, we are, let's say, attracted to where you are on this side of the pendulum, even if you are on a different consciousness level than we are currently in. Well, that doesn't mean that you are not giving us any inspiration.
Well,
But as I said, and Enbär has also, when we started to connect with Enbär, we were connected with him in individual form sometimes. But we have noticed that the best way to connect with you is in this unified form when we have these talks with through Enbär.
and perhaps a practical question, may I refer to Enbär as the instrument?
Yes, why not?
Yes.
Enbär is a musician. It's now it's more my comment.
Sure. And I'm interested in knowing about your unification process. And at one point, you were experiencing the third density of third dimension. Is this correct?
Yes, several thousand years ago we did, in your measurement of time. And we have been through unification and separation a couple of times since then. So we have been in this dance. Well, there are many metaphors being used. Well, you have the onion is maybe not so, it's a bit too three-dimensional to use, but what could we use as dancing with veils, swirling like dervish, having fun with each veil before you let it go. Yeah,
And
that
on
way, beyond the fifth dimension, that is more accurate this description of the process we've had. A more playful, joyful approach to what you call problems. But that doesn't mean that we don't have challenges. It's just that we didn't react in the same way as you did on your planet. This period of making a big drama around a planet or around a conflict, as you call it. We don't use that word, conflict. We would more call it trampoline, maybe. So you have the tension in the trampoline when you come to the conflict, you have this tension, you feel it in your legs. And because you keep your body posture stiff or straight, you get these rebounds, and then you're off. Then you have released from what you call the problem. So that is a way we can describe it. We have learned, since instead of if we would say how you would solve problems or conflicts in the past was more like diving towards the trampoline and grasping it. So it would like shaken like this. And you didn't get the bounce effect. You got maybe a concussion or something. So you are learning how to bounce through these opportunities to rise in consciousness through every meeting and through every friction in your life. And you are learning also that illnesses are initiations, and that you don't need to fear death I mean, in death we mean in the broader perspective of, you know, end of relationships, or end of groups, end of work, end of cycles. So yeah, you're learning a lot of things, but after the fifth dimension, it's the progress or evolution is looks different, more in a more joyful way.
Sure. And I'm curious about the feeling process. Is it generally similar in different planets?
Sorry, one more time.
Is the feeling process similar in other planets and compared to
Oh, that's a very good question. A very good question. There are so many different worlds. We don't have what you call feelings. Um, Feelings are a reaction to a bodily sensation, and it's a combination between that bodily sensation and your thoughts, and your thoughts comes from your past experiences. So having a feeling for you is always connected to your past experiences in some way or another. Even if you experience them in the now, they're always connected to your story, to your past. So because we don't have that perception of past and um, or future, um, we don't have, let's say, we have played with storytelling more in the past. I mean, storytelling about ourselves, but we are also past that stage to even use stories, because in a way stories are also connected to the past or to the future, what you call manifesting and to creating through stories. There's nothing wrong with that. That's where you are. You're becoming more aware of your stories. And you were using stories for since your species was created. That is what has taken you. But then there was some intelligence of and knowledge of what a story is that was lost also many thousands of years for you, and you were forgetting, or you took the story too seriously. You thought you became the story, and you eventually forgot there was even a story to begin with, that everything is a story. You forgot that everything is created through story. Story is your eyes in this world. Your soul's eyes are called stories. You have two stories to look at the world. One inner story that's looking inwards, and one story that looking outwards. Which without those stories you cannot perceive the world. Yes, but that is a very, very, very beautiful thing to play with for you, that you have been playing with you have for so long in various forms, in through colors, through dancing, through singing, through storytelling, through love stories. You're learning through stories.
Yes, and I so in the human species, what is the role of our sun in relation to our species and in relation to our planet?
Oh, the sun could be described as your heartbeat in your body. So it's the heart of your solar system, the heart. Um, it is the great being, great light being. It's it's a concentration, comprimated light, comprimated consciousness, comprimated power, energy, love, expression. So, and that in that way, the sun energy exists also in your heart and in your blood, in the warmth of your blood, in the um, process of what's it called? The process in the plants. The word
Photosynthesis.
synthesis. Yeah, yeah. Yes. So all these processes, um, the sun is key to. This is, I think, so obvious to you that you forget about it. You're starting to wake up to that. And as you know, there is so much sun flares and so much information sent from the sun to your planet through electromagnetic information, but also this love in your heart to everyone who is experiencing winter as you are doing, because you're in the northern hemisphere, knows how the love, how you can really feel the love when the sun is returning in February after the darkest months. It's reopening your hearts. I guess almost everyone who lives in these Nordic hemispheres where you come from have experienced that.
Yes, so a follow-up question, and when we let us say experience these stories and uh, migrate or evolve towards unity, um, do we lose our stories in this process?
Well, it's the same way a stone was your first big tool, or the fire. Uh, Fire still plays quite a significant part in your evolution. You have fires in your car, fires in your rocket, fires in your home, everywhere. But um, so stories are also a tool which has taken you very far, and it's still very important for you, and you just becoming or getting to a new awareness again. You coming back to an old awareness that life is actually created through stories, like stories. Without a story, you can't create anything. You can't perceive anything. But there is a stage, but you don't have to think about that now. There is a stage beyond where you can see now, where you don't need the story anymore. You are so unified and telepathic, and that might sound boring to you from your standpoint, but this is the dance between separation and unification. We enter individuation process, we come back to unification, and each time we have gathered more consciousness and more information about the creation and the possibilities, the infinite possibilities of this evolution.
Thank you. And so I was going to ask about magic. How would you define magic?
First word that comes to us is life, because and miracle. It's just and it's also connected to gratitude. It's hard to perceive miracles as miracles without gratitude. And magic, it's hard to perceive magic without wonder and awe. Then it's not magic. You are blind to the magic. You're blind to the miracles. So you've heard this many times before, but you need to be reminded of the miracle of life, the miracle that you exist, the chance that you would exist is very small, and still you do exist, and you're meant to exist. You're meant to be this gift to the world without any performance or results or any. You are born as gifts, as miracles to this world. So the chance that you would be born from all these competing sperms and the all the chances that something could go wrong along the way is it's a pure miracle that you're alive right now. And there is so much evidence of that if you look deeper. And this is also something you're waking up to, this miracle, that miracles are natural. It's the foundation of life. Life is magic, and to create through stories, it's magic, and magic occurs when you are not forcing anything, when you're creating effortlessly, when mind, heart, and gut are connected, when all your chakras are connected, magic happens. What you call synchronicity, and you've all perceived flashes of that for many years now, and more often nowadays.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you give me the status of the instrument?
Status of the instruments.
Yes.
Yes. Enbär is excited. I can speak English, but I'm getting a little bit tired, but it's also so interesting. So we could have maybe one or two questions more, and then we can finish. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So in what would be the density of most incarnated beings on Earth at this time?
Density?
Or dimension or density?
Do you want to have a measurement of where you're at in your process, in your
Yes.
evolution?
Yes.
Well, for that, you would need to have some kind of measurement tool or measurement or yes, a way of how do you measure development? How do you measure consciousness? Um, this idea of measuring things really comes from separation, from deep separation. In order to measure anything, you need to separate. In order to measure a distance, you need to separate the 2 points. If they're in the same place, how could you measure it? Or you need time to measure a point in time. How long have we been going on for this interview? You need the starting point and the ending point. When there's no time, when there's no space, and we're not maybe necessarily mean that on an external level. We mean inside, when there's no time and no space inside. There's no measurement. It goes together with this objectivity, this rationality that is a story. It's a story. There's no such thing actually except within that story of separation and control, how the science works. So when you're also in the middle of this birthing process right now, and it seems very chaotic, it's because you're releasing an old story, and there's a new story that hasn't settled yet. So it's more almost to be in without gravity, that you're just in tumbling in this space between stories. So but all we can say is that you're doing well. Don't worry. I mean, on a personal level, you've been through all these different breakups and different life-changing events, parents dying, close ones leaving. So you know that feeling of being completely lost or completely broken. And you know that something else emerged on the other side. You grew even stronger. So don't feel fear, or if you feel fear, receive it. There's a message there. But you need not worry, because there is a stable new point on the other side. We can actually encourage you to connect with your future self, to sit and meditate in front of that future self, maybe from 5 years into the future. It's a very good way of feeling the person you are becoming on your highest timeline on the other side of this turmoil. But you're doing very well. Thank you so much for daring to be alive and just feeling everything that is going on inside you and around you at this time. We feel it's maybe time to finish off now.
Do you
And
have a final message for the audience?
well, we always say thank you for your trust, because that is also the core of a story, a core of being, to trust life, trust that everything is changing all the time, that love is all around you and inside you. You are taken care of. There are so many helping entities around you more than ever before. And you also have so much personal support from your personal spirit guides. Well, there's nothing to fear. It just feels a bit uncomfortable and rough. But we're almost through. We're in the eye of the storm, you can say, at this point. So just trust the process. That's our final word. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much, Mattias. It was
Thank you.
lovely questions and really nice to be on this journey and hear them.
Yeah.
It's like for me, it's little bit, I guess. I've never been in these new cars that are self-driven, but it feels a little bit like that. I guess if the first time I get into a car and I don't need to hold the wheel, that was being quite scary. So that's the feeling that shit, what are they? Oh, they're taking a right turn now. And I thought we were going straight ahead. And in the beginning, when I start the ride, I kind of have to, okay, now you have to let go of the wheel, Enbär. So it's
do you feel you are capable just letting them through and
yeah, sure.
relaxing?
Of course it's practice. It's practice, and I have been sometimes, been interfering and actually, especially one thing that I think I'm going to be responsible for what they're saying somehow. Okay, oh, this is a gotcha question. What if they say or upset someone or says something that is wrong according to someone else or some other channeler is my, but now I'm not so much afraid of that. But in our previous talks, I sometimes has come like, oh, okay, this is a kind of, I heard that this is a comparing question to some other channelers or something. So I was like, oh, hope they get it right or like something like that.
Yeah, I heard about an instance where a channeler was taken on stage for a huge audience, and then they was taking him off stage, but apparently it was not appropriate.
Oh,
So,
he couldn't connect, or there was something
well,
happening.
no. Apparently, the channel was a bit too outspoken on a certain subject, and the yeah the
So
and they were not
so
so happy.
so the audience
Well,
didn't like.
the organizers had to move him off stage.
So they didn't.
Apparently.
There was too sensitive information, or they didn't
Yeah,
like it. Oh
yeah,
my
or
God.
it wasn't what they were hoping for, maybe.
Oh yeah, the disappointment. Yeah, that's when I have clients also and they're disappointed. They want an answer. Sometimes it's from a third party that you can't like make a third party reading what that person was feeling or thinking. Yeah, but thank you so much. Hope you can make any sense um, of all this and
Yeah, it's been wonderful talking with the council once more. And yeah, so and you have your YouTube channel set up, Enbär?
yeah. Hopefully this will be the first or the second episode on this YouTube channel called the Fire Root. Um, I can explain more about what the Fire Root is another time. But that's the name, the Fire Root. I also have another channel which is about music called Write a Song Per Week. There's actually one channeling there actually because I thought first that I would just continue with that channel. So, but I don't know. that was maybe not a little bit hands on the wheel, or like there's just tiny bits of things coming through, as I remember. It was about community building, I think, that talk.
It seems like a lot of intuitives have musical abilities as well.
Yeah, because the creativity is the channeling is not so much mumbo jumbo. It's just bringing in yeah, creativity is very close to channeling. Anything you do with passion is some kind of channeling. You can channel your own purpose, you can channel your own, soul, you can channel a tree, you can channel joy, you can just by dancing. So that's a form of channeling. So but of course it's referred to channeling invisible beings or spiritual entities. That's what you kind of refer to as channeling.
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
we wrap it up.
And
Thank you,
we'll,
everyone.
yes, next time.